Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special recap edition of Todd Talk. Because when Todd talks, people listen. Unless I have my hair cut, then you're probably going to ignore me because I've lost all attractiveness, and I am sorry. I'm truly sorry. Moving on. So, last week was eventful for many reasons, but key among them, it was the season 3 finale of Death Battle. And so since they're going to be gone until February, I thought it was only fair that I do a recap, a review, and a scorecard of this season in Death Battle. Because if you recall, I started Todd Talk last year with Greymon versus Charizard, and I won that one. But that was like the only one I had gotten to do because I only started Todd Talk around then. So when Death Battle came back up, I decided to do both prediction videos and reaction videos and see what happens. And you guys have made this pretty much a hit. I mean, I've had some, multiple 100 view videos. I've had multiple 300 view videos. Deadpool versus Pinkie Pie prediction hit over 500, and my top one, which I still can't believe, which was Urza Scarlet versus Roronoa Zoro prediction video, got over 1,000 views. It's over 1,000, and that's really cool to me. So thank you. But now we need to break down what happened, how I did, and how I can do better for next season. So let's see how I did. Battle 1 was Dante versus Bayonetta. Easily one of my top battles for this season. I'll be doing a top 5 a little bit later in the show. Um, I knew Dante would probably beat Bayonetta, but I had to go with Bayonetta because I love her so much. Her games were awesome. But I picked Bayonetta, so I lost. So that's one in the lost column. Next up was Bowser versus Ganon, another great fight. A great choice by the fans and by Death Battle. Picked Bowser. Bowser lost. So that's 2 in the lose column. This is not a trend, okay? This is not a trend. Because the next battle was Ratchet and Clank versus Jak and Daxter, and after I did my research, I picked Ratchet and Clank and Ratchet and Clank 1. So, win column. Next up was a Flash versus Quicksilver, a battle that I knew the Flash had to win, and he did. So, win column. Let's see. What was next? This one I feel bitter about. It was a Joker versus Sweet Tooth. And my heart was screaming Joker because I knew he had the Joker toxin, but I didn't know much about Sweet Tooth, and so I picked Sweet Tooth, and so lost column. Next up was Mewtwo versus Shadow, another bittersweet one. I'm a Pokemon fan at heart, but I thought there's no way they're bringing Shadow back just to die. I picked Shadow. Shadow got obliterated. Lost column. But then we had an upswing. We had Meta versus Carolina in the Red versus Blue battle. I picked Agent Carolina, and Agent Carolina won, so win column. All right. So much fun. Let's see. Who was next? See, I have very terrible writing, ladies and gentlemen. Cammy versus a Sonya Blade. This one I kind of felt cheated on because I felt Cammy was a better fighter, and some of the reasoning behind Sonya kind of felt forced. But they said Sonya was stronger, so Sonya won. Lost column. Then we had easily one of my most controversial jet battles ever, Tracer versus Scout. I totally thought Scout should have won. I still believe to this day that Scout should have won, that this was one of the worst death battles in terms of not just breakdown, but presentation. But I picked Scout. Scout lost, and so lost column. But then, I had a winning streak. Ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I did. Because the next battle was Ken Masters versus Terry Bogard. I did a lot of research for this one, and I picked Terry. Terry won. Win column. Who was after that? Well, it was Amy Rose versus Ramona Flowers. Very interesting death battle in terms of matchup. This was easily one of the more creative death battles, but I went for Sonic. I went for Amy, and Amy won. So Win column. There we go. Then one of my all-time favorite death battles, Hulk versus Doomsday. Uh, this was a lot of fun to research. This was a lot of fun to watch. Still one of my favorite breakdowns. I picked Doomsday, not because of DC Pride, but because of pure full-on research, and Doomsday won. Win column. And then we had the season finale. Deadpool versus Pinkie Pie. One of my all-time, much like Hulk Doomsday, one of my all-time favorite researched topics. I mean, I went full scale on Pinkie Pie, and it's probably one of the reasons it's why not only my personal favorite death battle prediction, but one of my most watched with over 500 views. And no one lost and no one won. So how do I rate this? I mean, the easy way is to go tie, but I technically called in the prediction video, go back and watch it, I called that they could do a swerve and have none of them die. Now, I said I don't think this will happen, but I still predicted it. Pinkie Pie, I picked Pinkie Pie lived, so I'm putting that in the win column. It's cheating and I don't care. It's my show. So if you look at the breakdown, there were 14 death battles. I had 7 wins and 7 losses. It's a tie! Yeah, baby! So I honestly wasn't sure because I knew I had some early losses, especially I think the first 2, and then I won 2, then I lost 2. Then I was really unsure of how it went, but I really thought I had a longer losing. I'm looking at my paper right now. I really thought I had a longer losing streak than that, but I guess it was just spaced out. That winning streak totally saved my butt. Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention Rowan Urza versus Scarlet. I picked Urza. Urza lost. That was in the loss column, but still. These are all marked out. 7 wins, 7 losses. So yeah, I'm actually quite pleased with that. I mean, I willingly admit I made mistakes in some of my death battle research. I was ignore that. I didn't go deep enough into my research in some cases. It backfired on me sometimes. Like easily one of the most notorious ones was Rowan Urza versus Urza. I looked at both their wikis, I looked at their abilities, and yet the wiki I looked at for Zoro was really incomplete. It didn't mention his hockey skill, which I honestly probably think it would have put me over the top. And I thought Urza with all her armor was very powerful, so that kind of backfired on me. Like Tammy, Sonya, that was another big one. I thought they were very evenly matched. Apparently not, because of a mini game, whatever. So that that one that stung that I didn't get that one right. But I feel like when I really, really, really put the effort into it, like with the research going deeper than just the wikis, I really found some cool stuff. But that's actually how I found that Doomsday beat Darkseid, because of a very, very detailed wiki, not just his standard one. Because that was honestly what put me over the top with Doomsday. It wasn't just that he beat Superman, because that's a feat in and of itself, but he beat Darkseid, who gives Superman a run for his money. So yeah. Now we get into what did I think of Death Battle Season 3 as a whole. This is kind of complicated because I honestly got into Death Battle in Season 2. The very long Season 2. And so this new format was very appreciated because I liked that they were 3 weeks apart, or in one very unfortunate case, like 4 or 5 weeks apart. Didn't like that. They had some interesting matchups for sure. They had some classic matchups I'm sure will stand the test of time. But I can't help but think that there was a small dip in quality in some of these death battles. Not just in the matchups, but in how they were presented. Because you had absolute knockouts like Dante versus Bayonetta, Hulk versus Doomsday, even Ganon versus Bowser, which was a very crisp 2D battle. Oh, and Ratchet and Clank, Jack and Daxter, that was a great one too. But then you got ones like Cammy versus Sonya, Mewtwo versus Shadow, which were pretty unbearable to watch, and not just from like a battle standpoint. Like Mewtwo vs Shadow is got to be the lowest of the low for this season because of not just its look, but its presentation. It was so bad. It made me wonder why they even did it. And then Kami vs Sonya was a little bit better, but it was still horrible to watch graphically. And then you see like these other battles like Ken versus Terry, Amy versus Ramona, even Zoro versus Urza, with all the changing armor sprites. You wonder how they went from like these quality battles to these bad ones. And then there's the matchup options. Like, I'm sorry, but it's really sad that they keep doing these Mortal Kombat Street Fighter matches when it's clear that just about every time the Mortal Kombat person is gonna win. I mean, the only Street Fighter who has ever beaten a Mortal Kombat character was Akuma, and he beat Shang Tsung, which is fine. I believe that and everything. But I mean, Bison lost to Shao Kahn, Ryu lost to Scorpion, Cammy lost to Sonya. Um, it just seems odd that they would keep bringing in these Street Fighters and then killing them. And then that's not even talking about Ken, who faced Final Fight, Fatal Fury, with Terry Bogard and just got utterly destroyed. It's just like, what do you have against Street Fighter? And the fact that they did these battles at times really close to one another, like it was literally Kami versus Sonya, then it was Tracer Scout, and then it was Ken versus Terry, and like, why are they so close to one another? Which was another one with they did Flash vs. Quicksilver, which was a good one. And then they had Joker versus Sweet Tooth. That's what kind of threw me out, that they would do two DC characters winning back to back. And then of course we're not even talking about Deadpool Pinkie Pie, which will no doubt go down as one of the more controversial ones, just as a choice battle. You either love it or you hate it. Whether you like getting trolled or not, that's honestly on you. But it's interesting, because they say, and I know I have great respect for Death Battle, I really do, and they say, we pick battles based on great matchups, we pick them based on fan suggestions, which is how and why Deadpool vs. Pinkie Pie happened, and like a lot of these other ones, like Hulk Doomsday, they know there was a big one. Ganon Bowser, they know there was a big one that fans wanted. Jak and Daxter Ratchet Clank, but it makes me wonder at times how they plan it out, because to me Hulk Doomsday should have been the finale. They could have had Roman Zoro versus Urza, and that was fine. Then do Deadpool Pinkie Pie, which would have been fine, and then they do Hulk Doomsday. Totally blow the lid off the internet, which they kind of did, and just had this very satisfying finale. But instead, we kind of got trolled because no one died in the season finale, and I was like, why are we here? You ever wonder why we're here? Sorry. But, again, when these battles hit, they hit. I mean, again, I'm going to do my top 5 in a second, and they're great. I mean, they're really great. Especially the 3D battles of the Torian. Torian just is amazing in these battles, and, they got a really great animator with him. And I appreciate these battles. I just wish that the 2D battles at times would step up their quality. Now, yes, they were also trying to do DBX, they were doing other things, and I just hope that Season 4 just really focuses in on that quality, because we deserve it just as much as they deserve it. We deserve quality matches. We deserve matches that don't make us scratch our heads, or like, what are we looking at, or oh, my eyes, they bleed, these terrible graphics. And if you have to skip a death battle so you can get better sprites, then do it. Okay? And it's just felt odd. Alright, so as we go into the final section of this, I think it's time to do my top 5 death battles of Season 3. And again, you probably can already guess some of them, but it was a little complicated. There were great death battles, there were good death battles, there were okay death battles, and then there were the bad death battles. But there were some that really stood out to me, and so I say we just go for it and have some fun. Number 5, easy, probably the biggest surprise death battle, and there's a story behind this, and it's Meta versus Carolina. I watched the original Red versus Blue. Now, when I say original Red versus Blue, I mean season 1 to season 5, the first 100 episodes, and I loved it. I mean, it was almost guilty pleasures. You know, I have the opening sequence memorized and everything, and it was fun. But I thought it stopped after episode 100. You know, because timing, I suppose. And so when they said, you know, hey, when they did like the preview, and it was like, hey man, yeah, you ever wonder who went in a fight between Caroline and the Meta? And then they showed the fight. I'm like, who are these characters? And why did Griffin Simmons look so different? You know, and so I went back, I researched, and I was like, oh my gosh, they've had nine different, nine extra seasons. And I'm like, well, crap. So I binge watched all of Red versus Blue back to front, so I could be ready for Carolina versus the Meta. And it really helped me pick Carolina for that death battle, and I'm really glad. And so the battle itself was very fun. They got all the original voice actors. They even noted that they talked with Rooster Teeth, worked with them hand in hand to decide who would win between Meta and Carolina. They even said in their latest Death Battle cast, the one from last week, they were like, that is the only one you guys can't argue about because it is out of your hands, because Rooster Teeth said that Carolina would win. And so I can't refute that. And the battle was very fun, and the ending was hilarious, and just the intercutting between Death Battle and Red versus Blue, which is in many ways a fan crossover of the ages. Um, that one was really fun. So it gets my number 5 slot. Number 4, I have to say, is the only 2D battle to make it on this list, and that is Ganon versus Bowser. Now, as one of the only losses on this list, there's going to be another one coming up. You might think it'd be odd that I picked this, but this one was just really well done. I mean, this is 2D Death Battle at its finest. I mean, you could tell that they had to do a lot of creation here, because Ganon himself, in like the Ocarina of Time Twilight Princess form, does not have a sprite, because it was always done in 3D. So they had to create those sprites to make Ganon look like that. Now the pig one was probably a little bit different, but you know, Bowser probably easy to find, more or less, you know, with some obvious augmentation. But they really went whole hog on this. I mean, it was the battle of the bosses, you know, boss fight, um, boss style. That was it. That was Boomstick's words. That was it. And they would just, you know, Bowser's power, you know, Ganon's magic. It was just really, really fun to watch. And yes, my heart broke when, you know, Bowser got destroyed, but it was just really, really fun. They even incorporated like Mario Tennis. They incorporated Bowser's spinning shell. They did a Ganon's charge up punch from Smash Brothers. It was honestly just good, clean, dirty boss fight fun. And I watched that for quite some time, as when it came out early enough, because one of the shorter ones. I could watch it quickly, and I really, really enjoyed it. So it gets my number 4 spot. Nice job, you guys. Number 3, not surprisingly, is the kickoff to season 3 with Dante versus Bayonetta. This was ironically the one that was teased at the end of season 2, because at the time Smash Bros had announced that the winner of the fan polling was Bayonetta, and so Death Battle's like, well, crap, if they're going to announce that Bayonetta's in their game, we're going to announce Bayonetta's going to be in our show. So they did. I wasn't expecting her to be the lead off, but you know, I'm grateful. This battle was fun, and the preview, like the actual like season 3 preview for this battle, was one of my favorite previews ever. Just the way they cut it, the way it looked, the sound, you know, sound of silence and all that. It was a lot of fun, and I was instantly excited for this battle. Um, it was also very surprising. I mean, they went. I mean, just use the expression from last time. They went whole hog. I mean, they used like, as many weapons as they could show. They used the different styles, witch time, the hair techniques, the demon summons. You know, Trish and Jean both showing up. Didn't see that coming. Uh, it was a very over the top, very fun battle that ended very dramatically, where you thought maybe just for a second that Bayonetta actually would win, and then you saw her fall to the ground, and Dante blows her to Kingdom Come. I probably should say blows her up to Kingdom Come. That, you know, yeah, dirty minds. Um, but yeah, and also voice acting was absolutely on par, personality wise. mannerisms wise, how they talked, how they walked, everything. It was perfect Dante and Bayonetta. So that was really, really cool. Number two was another surprise, not matchup wise, but how much I enjoyed it. It was Jack and Daxter versus Ratchet and Clank, or Ratchet and Clank, Jack and Daxter. I've never played either of these games outside of demos. I remember specifically playing Ratchet and Clank demo. I think it was like Up Your Arsenal or something like that. And maybe I think I played Jack and Daxter once, maybe as a demo on Toys R Us. I don't remember, but I had very little attachment to these characters, and at times that's the best way to research them because you don't have that bias like I sometimes do with the DC characters or even Nintendo characters. Um, but this battle was so beautifully made by Torian, and again, all as many weapons as you possibly think of. Minus some key favorites like the Sheepinator, or the Supernova. Got involved in it was technology versus like mana, eco and everything, and it was very well put together. Voice acting, I'd say was 3 for 4. I really didn't like Daxter's voice. I thought he was way too scratchy. Um, but it was very fun. It was very intense, and again, they played up perfectly these guys' different power sets. For a second, you thought that Jack and Daxter was going to win when they did like the light Jack form and he froze time, but then Ratchet wasn't affected. Sorry, Clank wasn't affected, and everything touched him to free him up, and they hit him with the ice power, and that was pretty cool. But it was just a very fun battle, and I think that sometimes it gets lost in like the who would win and the bloodshed and everything. Is that these battles are supposed to be fun, and this one really showed it. It's high intensity. They had the 1812 Overture playing in the background when the Rhino 5 came out, and all the banter and everything. It's like, I'm sorry for your loss, Mr. Weasel. Weasel! That kind of thing. It's fun, and these are very fun characters from a very fun franchise, and so I'm glad that they got to show off the fun of these franchises. But the number one death battle in season 3 for me, for Todd Talk, is unquestionably, undeniably Hulk versus Doomsday. And I know this may seem like a shock, not. I love this death battle. I said in the reaction video, I love this death battle. I said in this episode that I love this death battle, but there's a very simplistic reason as to why I love it. It's not that the matchup was perfect, because it was. It was, the unstoppable force versus the immovable object. It was a perfect matchup. These guys are basically unstoppable. So how do you stop the unstoppable? But the visuals were very good. I don't know why Doomsday had a ponytail. I really don't. And yes, Hulk's voice was annoying, but it was very good at showing just the raw power of these guys, and it was very, very fun. And even just that ending of Doomsday just walloping, boom, 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 on Hulk, hitting him with the spikes, pulling them out, just utterly, completely just dismantling Hulk. It was awesome. But then the breakdown. This is another thing that gets lost. If they can say who they think wins based on their research, but if they can't explain it well enough, or they don't explain it in a way that makes sense to every one of us, it doesn't mean anything at all. That's one of the reasons why I think Tracer Scout was wrong, or even Hawkeye, Green Arrow from last year was wrong because of their explanations. But Hulk Doomsday went down to the tiniest detail. They actually researched what anger and rage does to a person so that they could understand what the limits of Hulk's power was. That was so cool. And they even said for themselves that it was really cool that they had to go that far into this research, and they perfectly showed why Doomsday would beat Hulk, because you get maximum potential, everything is canon, that is official, everything official is canon and all of that. Doomsday has died to Superman, numerous Kryptonians, energy blast, being ripped in half, being pummeled, curb stomped, and you can't do that anymore. You can't be in the same way twice. And so, what are Hulk's powers? He outmuscles you. He rips you. He beats you down. He beats you to a pulp, and then you lose. That's how you lose to the Incredible Hulk. But Doomsday can't get affected by that anymore because he's already lost to like that to Superman and everything. And so even Darkseid, who again is this Omega level threat, to use a Marvel term, um, has the Omega sanction. He uses it on Doomsday, and Doomsday shrugs it off. You're not supposed to do that with the Omega sanction. Okay? So I love the explanation. I could literally listen to explanation like all the time because it rivals right up there with Goku Superman, both of them, as the best explanations that they have ever done. So, and I smile just thinking about it because that was some really cool research. So, in conclusion, season 3 was good. I mean, it was good. I mean, I'm just looking at the battles again, and I pick my favorites. At my former job, I would watch Death Battle in between breaks and lunches, and I swapped out multiple videos from season 2 for season 3 because I honestly thought they were better in one form or another, like Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, Hulk Doomsday. I watched Metaverse Carolina so many times. It was really really good fun. I don't know what to expect with season 4, but I'm hoping for some really fun matches. Again, I hope for the quality to come back because these 2D fights should look just as good as the 3D fights. If you have to take a little more time or, swap to another battle to get better sprites, go ahead and do it, you know? We'll wait. It's not like we're on a timeline for these, so we'll just see. So with that, I will wrap up this season review of Death Battle. Let me know what your favorite Death Battles were from Season 3, and what ones you think could be on for Season 4. And don't worry, I'll be still around. I'll be doing some non-Death Battle Todd Talks as we wait for the February premiere, which is only a month away if you really, really think about it. So don't worry about that. So, I thank you for watching. If you made it this far, I know you were listening, and I will see you around.